So good morning. Welcome and thanks to all for joining this very important workshop. It's the first ever devoted to human environment mobile-based interactions, or HEMBI. I'll use a substitute word, HEMBI. So this workshop is made possible by a grant from the Information and Intelligence Systems Division of the National Science Foundation. And we thank Jim French. Jim is here someplace, who made this workshop possible to come here. It's also been made possible by the hard work and talent of several people behind the scenes, notably Sandy Center, Mike Reynolds, and many other people. So they really made this workshop possible. It is fitting to host this event at MIT, considering its commitment to tackling global environmental challenges. It's also fitting to hold this workshop at the MIT Media Lab, which is known as an incubator of cutting-edge technology and technologists with a perspective on global societal issues. The objective of this workshop, the first of its kind, is not only to gather this interdisciplinary group of researchers and practitioners to share knowledge and interests. It's also to establish a sustainable HEMBI network, including formal links among related communities, and to envision avenues for future exchanges, collaboration, dissemination, and documentation. Our final session on Wednesday, and I hope you can stay until then as much as possible, will be devoted specifically to the future of this community. We hope to arrive at initial plans for workshop sessions, journal issues, an electronic forum, and maybe other vehicles devoted to dissemination of HEMBI. So what is HEMBI? HEMBI is human environment mobile-based interactions. Now, first, the human-environment interactions. A top concern of HEMBI research is to facilitate, to document, and to learn from human-environment interactions. Until recently, the study of human-environmental interactions has been mostly confined to slow and discrete iterations due to constraints of conventional instrumentation and documentation. But with the advent of mobile-based technologies, human-environment exchanges can be documented and analyzed in increasingly fine-grained intervals. This may prove especially valuable in society in an area where human impact on the environment has so drastically accelerated in time and in space. Another feature of human-environment interaction, HEMBI, is the two-way exchange of signals and responses, just like a phone. An exchange of outgoing messages or outgoing sound and incoming sounds. Just as one might stimulate the leg of a frog and observe its reaction, one can now acoustically probe the forest and listen for reactions. The current dominant model for research has been passive monitoring, and this is where most of us come from. Now with HEMBI, we can create new models for knowledge gathering using the two-way or leveraging the two-way capabilities of mobile devices. My interest in HEMBI came about from projects monitoring or actually surveying owls in the forest. And in this project, we use cell phones, which is a very simple device and very common device, as a means to call owls and then hear back responses and sort of tally the number of owls that would be in the forest. So mobile-based interactions. At the frontiers of the digital ecology, mobile devices are evolving in interesting ways. They're becoming widely distributed, interconnected, computationally powerful, but also compatible with a variety of sensors and other devices. In other words, we can extend the reach of cell phones or the capabilities of cell phones further than themselves. The growing number and power of mobile devices is opening up new possibilities for HEMBI applications, such as innovative approaches to some of our most pressing global problems. Most mobile devices are already at the hands of so many people and are accessible to most, so HEMBI holds the potential to bridge social divides, which is a problem very dear to my heart, and offer tools for learning and exploration to all strata and sectors of society. About the workshop itself. So the workshop session will focus mainly on topics relevant to HEMBI. Not all will be directly HEMBI, but topics relevant to HEMBI, including micro devices, environmental monitoring, conservation, biology, and yes, arts. In the next 2 days, as we hear about critter cams, orcas, wrestling beetles, and many other very interesting projects in innovation, I challenge you to consider the following questions, which are also included in your workshop program. What are HEMBI's core technologies? In which fields of study do HEMBI applications hold significant promise? How will HEMBI technology become an effective tool in the hands of large number of users? In other words, one person and one object of observation, and now you have many people. And what possibilities and in which way should we change our thinking to better advance our understanding, leveraging the number of people that can be behind mobile, that can participate in the observation. In what ways can HEMBI interfaces enrich human-nature connections and overcome the constraints of disability, of time, of distance, and danger, and so on? And finally, what structures are needed to promote and transfer of new HEMBI ideas and information across disciplinary boundaries? And that would be the last session. So I invite you to submit questions and comments to the HEMBI website. There's a tab, feedback. And please, when you have ideas that you'd like to share or questions that you'd like to raise, please write them through the website. Again, thanks so much in advance for participating in this workshop and making this workshop an enriching and memorable experience. The diverse expertise represented are key to the success of this workshop, and we're pleased that you've taken the time to come. So now to the first session. So the first session is mainly on sensors and sensor fusion. So it's the most techy, I think, session of the workshop.